Ladies and gentlemen, joining me on the line live today is Brent Sternberg from Talkin American Footy. Brent, welcome to WSM, and absolute pleasure to have you on the line today.
No worries, Winnow. Good to see you again, mate, and good to have a chat to you on Super Bowl Monday morning here in Australia. I know you're on the other side of the world and you're going to be up late watching the Super Bowl, but it'll be worth the wait, mate. It's going to be a great game. I have no doubt about that.
Well, you mentioned it's going to be a great game. I'm absolutely looking forward to this one. Super Bowl LV or Super Bowl 55 from Tampa Bay, and it's the Buccaneers up against the Kansas City Chiefs. Almost, I suppose, a collision of two different generations. You've got Tom Brady. He's going for his 7th Frank Lombardi trophy. The Patrick Mahomes, almost what most experts call the predecessor of the next generation of quarterback. He's only 25 years of age. The Chiefs are going for back-to-back victories here in Super Bowl 55. So, Brent, I'm going to throw it over to you. How do you see this one playing out in about 2 hours from now?
Yeah, well, I mean, the headline act normally is the matchup between the quarterbacks. And like you say, we've got Tom Brady, who everyone says is the greatest of all time. And, at the moment that is true. It's hard to sort of think, conceivably, could anyone ever catch him? But what Mahomes has done already in his career, he's been in the league for 4 years. He wasn't the starter in his rookie year. He was the starter from year 2, and to take his team to 3 championship games in the 3 years as starter and two Super Bowl appearances, in a few short hours, he could be back-to-back Super Bowl champion is unreal. So really, the only guy that I think could reach that is Mahomes. He's going to have to start winning Super Bowls. He's won 1. He could have 2 in a couple of hours. The only way he's going to get into that same conversation as Tom Brady is if he keeps on winning Super Bowls. And then from Tom Brady's point of view, I mean, he's won 6. That's the most already. He's 2 clear of the next best. So if he wins today, it'll be lucky 7. I'm not too sure how it's going to change his legacy if he wins. I mean, it's obviously going to be a fantastic story, to go to a new team for the first time, reading a new playbook and getting used to, new offensive teammates and all of that for the first time, really, in 20 years after spending 2 decades at the Patriots, plus everything that happened in the off season, not being able to get out there and practice with his teammates. It'll be a nice little wrinkle in his career, but I think, whether or not he wins or loses today, I don't think if he loses, I don't think that's going to have any, it's not going to tarnish his legacy at all. And if he wins, it's just going to add to it, so big game for both guys, of course, but I'm just really excited to have such a marquee matchup. I think I may have mentioned to you a couple of weeks ago that we don't get these big marquee matchups often in Super Bowls. Brady never played Peyton Manning in a Super Bowl because they're in the same conference, their whole career. He never played Tom Brady, that is. He never played Aaron Rodgers. He never played Drew Brees, and he couldn't play Patrick Mahomes because they were in the same conference. Now he goes over to the NFC, and at the first time around, these 2 guys wind up in the Super Bowl. So I think, historically, this is going to be one of the most important games, I think, in NFL history. I think it's going to be a great Super Bowl in and of itself, but I think it's going to be a reference point for generations, to come. I think, you and I that get to witness this, it's very, very special. And I think we're going to tell people in the future about the afternoon that these 2 met in the Super Bowl. In terms of the game itself, I mean, the big question is, and this is going to be the question every game that the Chiefs play with Patrick Mahomes from here on out in Mahomes' career, and every Super Bowl that he plays in. And I think there's going to be, X amount. I don't know how many he's going to play in. It could be any number. He's already played in 2 and he's only been a starter for 3 years. The question will be, how does the opposition stop him? And today it's Tampa Bay. Their defense has been terrific. For as good as Tom Brady has been this year, he hasn't been that great in the playoffs. He's been good in a few key moments, but it's the defense that has got them here, and it's the defense that's going to win them the championship today if they are to win. They need to put pressure. I was about to say petrol. Then they could put petrol on him if they want to. They need to put pressure.
Yep.
They need to put pressure on Patrick Mahomes, and I think they'll be able to do that. The Chiefs are going to be without their two starting tackles, Eric Fisher at left tackle, who unfortunately pinged his Achilles in the championship game, and their right tackle, Mitch Schwartz, who is the best right tackle in the game. They've missed him for most of the year. He's been on injured reserve. So I worry about that a little bit. I'm sure they'll be able to get pressure. Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator, loves to scheme up blitzers. So I think, watching this game, I think early on, have a look and see how the Bucks are dominating that line of scrimmage. If the Chiefs O-line's holding up, then that's fine. But if they're getting some push up front and they're getting into Mahomes' face and they're flushing him out of the pocket, I think Todd Bowles is going to smell a little bit of blood early if he sees that, and he might continue to get really aggressive and perhaps even send more guys. He might start to send the linebackers, and if they do that, the Chiefs could be in a bit of trouble. So that's the big question. How do they get to Patrick Mahomes, and how do they stop him? They've had turnovers, the Bucks, on defense in both games already. They're going to have to do that. And on the other side, for the Chiefs defense, and how do they stop Tom Brady? If there's one thing that has caused Brady issues in his career and in the playoffs as well, it has been pressure up front, right up into his face. And the Chiefs have one of the best interior pass rushers in the league in Chris Jones, probably the best outside of Aaron Donald. So he was one of a few players for the Chiefs who helped turn the game last year in the Super Bowl against San Francisco. He's going to have to do that again, Chris Jones. Otherwise, it's going to be a long day for them on defense. And don't forget, the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs, Steve Spagnuolo, he was the man who devised the defensive scheme for the New York Giants about 15 years ago or so, when the Giants beat Tom Brady and the New England Patriots and stopped them from becoming the first team to have an undefeated season in a 16-game regular season. They would have become, of course, only the second ever team to do that. But it was Steve Spagnuolo's New York Giants defense that stood in the way. So perhaps he can come up with a plan for the Chiefs to stop Tom Brady. But I think it's going to be really a battle of which defense can stop the other. They say defenses win championships. That's going to ring true today.
So, Brent, you mentioned just before historic moments, and there's no doubt in a couple of hours we'll be watching a historic moment. Either way, in a nutshell, who's going to win this game and why?
I think Kansas City, just because, I think the Bucks are going to put pressure on. They may even get a couple of takeaways, but I just can't see how, I've seen games where Patrick Mahomes has been pressured, and I've seen games where he's, given the ball away, and I've seen games where both of those things have happened in the same game, and he's still won. He's never played bad in a game. Patrick Mahomes, I've never seen him play a bad game. The Super Bowl last year, for 3.5 quarters, he didn't play well. And they turned it on, they flicked the switch, and in 6.5 minutes, they won the game. And that's why they're such a good team, and that's why this Patrick Mahomes is a freak of a guy. He's so hard to limit, because he can do everything. If most quarterbacks, you're like, let's get him out of the pocket and see what he can do. Well, Mahomes is as good in the pocket as he is out of it. He can make the most ridiculous throws, even if he's off kilter. He's such a hard guy to stop. So the Chiefs opened, when this matchup was known after Championship Sunday, they opened as a 3-point favourites. Of course, these teams met in Week 12, and the Chiefs won by 3 points. That was a game where Tyreek Hill was probably the star. So I think he's another player to watch today. I think he had nearly 300 yards receiving, and he had almost, 200 in the first quarter. So they want to do something about him, Tampa Bay, or they're not going to win. So I think the Chiefs will win. I think they'll win by 3 points. I do think, even though I've just sort of spoken at length about the two defenses, I think there will be points in this game. Picking a scoreline, Kansas City 34-31. So the Chiefs to win by 3 points, be the first team to win back-to-back championships since the Patriots did it 2003, 2004. I think it's going to be a great game. I think it'll be close. I think Patrick Mahomes will have his he'll wrap up his second Lombardi trophy, and they'll take that back to Kansas City. And I think Patrick Mahomes will be the MVP as well. If the Chiefs win, there's only one or two guys that I can see clinching the MVP award. Mahomes is the obvious candidate. Tyreek Hill is the other one after he torched the Bucks earlier in the year. Like I said, Travis Kelce might be a bit of a smoky to watch as well. The tight end, he's had an unbelievable season. Travis Kelce, he's been unreal. But I'm sticking with the Chiefs by 3 points. And Patrick Mahomes MVP. I know, Winnow, I've got myself into trouble before and this year even picking against Tom Brady. You can't do that in the playoffs. But I think the Bucks and Tom Brady will have met their match today in a few hours, and I think the Chiefs will be hoisting the Lombardi Trophy in Tampa Bay in the Bucks Stadium. It's going to be hard for them to watch that, but I think it'll be red and yellow confetti falling in a few hours at Raymond James Stadium.
Well, there we have it. Brent Sternberg from Talking American Footy. I know you absolutely love your NFL, mate, and I really wish you all the best in enjoying the next sort of 5 hours with the pre-game and the actual match itself. Enjoy it back home in Australia. And it's been an absolute pleasure to have a chat to you today here on WSM. And if you do like Brent Sternberg's work, please check him out. He does a bit of work for the SEN, but he's got his own podcast called Talking American Footy. Check all the socials. It's all on there. Appreciate your time, Brent, and enjoy the Super Bowl 55.
No worries, Winnow. Nice to chat to you, mate. Enjoy the game.
Thank you. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that video, please make sure to give it a like. And if you want to check out some of my other videos, please make sure you click the subscribe button and give Winston Sports Media a subscribe and follow. Thank you so much.